Hi, I'm Dr. Clare Beckett-McInroy. I'm an ICF Master Certified Coach and EMCC Master Practitioner in team coaching, mentoring, and also an accredited supervisor with EMCC. And I'm the founder of Coach Me and Beckett-McInroy. One of the things we work in partnership with individuals, teams, and organizations is to mentor them so that they reach their full potential. This is something that's close to our hearts. We do this work across sectors globally. And now let me invite you to also hear from my colleague and business partner, Sameera Alibaba.
Hi there. My name is Sameera Alibaba. I'll be co-facilitating this session. I'm a Master Certified Coach from ICF, Scrum Master, and Agile Certified Coach as well. Rest assured, this session will be full of learning, engagement, and active participation. We are so looking forward to seeing you all there.
Welcome, everyone. I'm in Qatar, in Doha, and it's a beautiful sunny day today, 1 in the afternoon, and it's 70 degrees. So I couldn't ask for more perfect weather.
Okay. 大家好，欢迎来到今天的工作坊。我呢现在是在卡塔尔多哈，我们这边是下午，然后现在我们这边天气非常晴朗，而且是温度是17度，所以感觉非常的舒适。欢迎大家。
And we're so pleased to be here to speak to you today. The topic today is mentoring, it's a massive topic. And what we're focusing on today is actually impactful mentoring.
那么很高兴今天呢能跟大家来做这样一场的工作坊。那今天的工作坊的主题呢主要是跟导师辅导有关系。那导师辅导这里呢我们是特别的是说 Impact mentoring， 就是如何让你的导师辅导有非常高的那个效能，就高效辅导。
And so what we want to do first of all is get an idea of how much you know and understand already about mentoring, and to find out if you use it personally, professionally, in your organization.
那首先呢就是看大家就是在已经对这个导师辅导首先有多少的了解，你是如何理解导师辅导的，那你是否在自己的所在的组织是否用过导师辅导这项技术，是在比如说在个人生活中运用呢，还是在你的工作中运用。
Now, if you're on the Zoom, then please feel free to take your microphone off so that you can use it, or if you want to write in the chat and just share. And I know Isi will read out the Chinese because obviously I've got no chance with that. Just share, how much do you feel out of 10 you know about mentoring?
好，接下来呢是希望大家就是可以就畅所欲言，你们可以把那个麦打开发言，也可以是在聊天框里就是打出来，就是你们对导师辅导有多大的了解。
So put your mics on so you can speak, or write in the chat. And if you're watching this live stream, just grab a pencil or paper, 0 to 10. How many things can you think of that you know about mentoring?
大家就可以发言，就是也可以在那个聊天框里打出来，然后就也可以，如果是看直播的朋友们呢，也可以自己写下来，比如说1到10，你对这个导师辅导有多大程度的了解。
And while we're doing that, we've got some numbers in the chat, 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 7 out of 10. I can read those, I see. We're going to introduce Sameera as well, who's my business partner, and she's in Bahrain. We're both ICF Master Certified Coaches, members of EMCC. I'm also Certified Agile Coach, and Sameera's very well qualified in that area, and he's also a Scrum Master too. So today you're in capable hands.
现在我想跟大家介绍一下，今天就是我的伙伴 Sameera， 他现在是在巴林，然后他是 ICF 大师级认证教练，同时也是 EMCC 的会员，然后他呢也是一位敏捷专家，有那个敏捷专家2级的证书。那么今天呢，他也会就是很好的那个帮助到我们。
And just to share a little bit while you're having to think about mentoring as well, we've worked across sectors globally, internally and externally, and also including Fortune 100s.
那我们的就是导师辅导业务呢，也是在业务也是遍布全球的，我们既做内部教练，也内部辅导，也做外部辅导，然后同时呢，也是服务于财富100强企业。
And at this point, I'm going to hand over to Sameera. We're going to be using a program for this short training session called Pear Tree, which means that you can interact with us as we go through the slides in English and Chinese.
那接下来呢，我这边会教到那个 Sameera 那里他呢会就是他会有一个操作一个程序，然后方便我们在这个工作坊这个流程当中互动。那么现在我们就是来交给那个 Sameera。
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone. And here we go to this program is actually called Peer Deck. So it's literally a peer. It's a deck of cards. So what we're gonna do is you have 2 options. One, you can go to joinpd.com and it will ask you for a code. You can enter this code. Go ahead, AC. That's the number 1 until the 2 later on.
大家下午好。那这个呢是一个就是那个 joinpd.com 就是我要用的一个工具，然后大家可以就是加进去，然后呢那个输入码的话是用，大家可以直接点击这个链接去加进去。
Yeah. The second option is that I've sent a link to the Zoom chat, and my colleagues here, our friends, they can take that link and send it to the live stream students if you want. That's another option to join. So currently we have 1 student who joined. Just one more time, I'm going to read it. You can go to joinpd.com, use your browser, Safari, Edge, whatever you're using, Google, write joinpd.com. It will ask you for a password. Use this password, MDPADS.
今天因为有2种方式，第一种方式就是大家可以通过自己的浏览器或者其他方式，然后加入这个 joinpd.com， 然后它会让你输入一个密码，密码就是这个屏幕上的 MDPADS。然后还有一个方式就是在我们那个 Zoom 的那个Zoom 里面有一个我刚才发送了一个链接，大家也可以点进这个链接进去。就2种方式可以加入我们的今天的互动。
Okay. So we have 2 join.
已经有
Sorry, go ahead.
已经有2个人加进来了。
So at any time, if you got confused and you want to join Peer Deck, just use the same code, joinpd.com and the codes. And now we do have 2 students here, and you can join anytime as we go. So Claire, I'll be working with the slides. You can go ahead with the content. There are as we planned, the questions and the interactions.
Brilliant. So we've introduced ourselves. Let's skip to the next slide already. We shared about the organizations we've worked with. You'll get the slides later to hear more about us. That's enough about us already.
首先这个是我们自我介绍，第一张图片呢是我们的一些合作伙伴、一些合作组织，然后这两张呢是关于我们两个人的个人介绍。这个介绍的图片呢后续也会是给到大家。
And so the roadmap for today, and we say roadmap because if we need to change it along the way, then that's what we'll do. The roadmap for today has 8 different elements. The first one is, what is mentoring compared to coaching, training, consulting, therapy, and so forth?
今天呢，我们的内容主要是分为8个部分。那第一个部分呢，主要是什么是导师辅导，就是它跟教练、培训、咨询、治疗等等有什么区别。
And then we'll look at the benefits of mentoring for individuals, teams, organizations, and we'll go even wider too.
那第二个呢是导师辅导，就是对组织的好处，就是包括对个人、对团队的好处，然后我们会就是深入的这个挖掘这个方面的内容。
Then we'll look at some of the skills of a mentor and how that can be blended with any manager or leader's role.
那第三个呢是关于导师的技能，以及关于这个导师的技能，就是当你在作为一个管理者跟领导者是如何能够融合应用这个导师技能的。
EC, you're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
And then we'll look at ways to promote and set up mentoring. And then the importance of training for both the mentor and the mentee, the person being mentored.
然后呢就是促进和建立这个导师辅导的方法，以及培训导师和培训学员的方法。
Then we'll look at reverse mentoring, which doesn't mean stand on your head. Reverse mentoring is a fabulous tool for organizations. We'll explain that one. And also we'll do an interactive activity to find out, where are you or your team or your organization right now that you know a little bit about mentoring? Where are you? And finally, we'll draw up some actionable tasks so you can get started in your mentoring.
那接下来呢，还会就是讲到逆向导师辅导。逆向导师辅导可以在组织中就是发挥非常大的效用。再然后就你还有你的团队、你的组织，然后在导师辅导中会处于什么样的位置？然后最后呢，我们会就是来做一些可操作的一些任务。
Okay, let's move on. So here's a poll for those in the who followed the link, or you can do it on Zoom. Have you ever been mentored in your workplace? And let's see what we get.
那接下来呢，我们做一个调查，然后大家可以在那个链接里面，也可以在 Zoom 发例期里面，就是你在工作场所是否曾经接受过导师辅导。
We have 2 out of 6 responses. And I wish that people on the live streaming can come in as well.
这里呢有一些已经有一些人投票了。
Okay, so that gives us a little idea.
We have 4 out of 6 responses now. Okay, we can go on.
Let's move on. So the important thing is to really know and understand and be able to apply competencies of a mentor. And if we go to the next slide, one of the most important things to be able to do that is to really understand what is mentoring and what is coaching and training and consulting.
那么接下来就是我们就非常重要的一点，就是要理解这个导师辅导跟教练培训还有咨询的一些区别，要充分了解就是导师辅导导师的能力到底在哪里。
So if you think first of all of therapy, someone goes to therapy when, for example, they have had a trauma in their life or something's happened during childhood or bereavement, and they go there because there's an element of maybe medical intervention, support. They don't feel quite right in themselves right now, and they need to lean on someone to enable them to perform at their best.
那首先呢，我们谈一谈就是治疗。治疗可能就是我们在生活当中可能遇到了一些创伤，特别是可能在童年可能有一些不好的境遇，然后这个时候呢，可能就会去寻求一些医疗上的那个支持还有干预。那这个时候他会特别是需要一个就是一个人可能在能够让他就是那种错位的人生可以让他就是纠正一下，然后呢让他在生活当中就是处于那个最能够让自己处于最佳的那个生活状态人生状态。
And then coaching, that is where someone works with the coachee and there's equal power relations, and they enable them to be at their best, perform even better, clarify their goals, move towards the actions they want to achieve.
那么在教练当中呢，是我们就是教练会帮助就是被指导者，然后是比如说提升他们的绩效，然后实现他们的目标，以及促成他们的行动，然后起一个辅助推动作用。
And then consulting. This, as you probably know, is the expert telling, it's top down, the expert telling what needs to happen in a nutshell.
那关于专家呢，就简单来说，他可能会从上至下告诉你该去怎么做。
Training, of course, is a curriculum that needs to be followed, and sometimes there's assessment at the end. You're here, you need to be here. This is what you need to learn in this time frame.
那培训呢来说，可能就是主要是涉及到一些培训的课程，然后培训就是你去听一些学的内容，然后培训呢，培训师会告诉你，然后在这段时间你听到了什么，你要学习什么。
And then with mentoring. So mentoring is someone who's older and wiser and more experienced. And when I say older, I don't mean age. They've been there, they've done that, and they support you and they provide you with advice and ideas so that you can move up the organizational ladder, for one thing.
那导师辅导呢，它一般是一个就是年长，然后更加有智慧以及更加有经验的人，然后像可能经验资历尚浅的人，然后可能传授经验、知识、技能。但我这里说的年长，并不是指年龄，它就是以他的知识技能，然后去支持这个学员，是给予他建议跟想法。
I'll give you a quick example of a very pragmatic relation to mentoring. So when I had young babies and I'd be like, oh gosh, they're not sleeping, I would ask another mother or father who's been there and done that, what can I do to get my baby to sleep? And they may say, have you tried this? What time did you feed them? Have you tried blackout curtains? Are you ensuring they're active in the day? They're giving me suggestions from their experience in terms of what worked for them.
那我给大家举一个就是我们日常生活中的例子，就我有一个宝宝，但是他就不肯睡觉，然后这个时候因为我很烦恼这个问题，然后就会问其他有经验的爸爸妈妈，然后问他们我能怎么做，然后他们会告诉我说你试试这个方法，比如说你想一想你平时什么时候喂他们的，然后他们就是白天的那个是否白天的状况又是怎样的，就是他们会给我提供非常就是有效的有用的建议跟经验。
Another example in the workplace, and then we'll get on to an activity, is I am a manager and I aspire to be a director. And one of the directors, either in this company, even in another company, supports me in ways to develop my competencies to be ready for that interview.
那我再举一个就是工作职场上的例子，就我呢目前可能是一个经理，但是我特别想成为一个总监，然后可能就是有一位比如说这家公司或者其他公司的一位总监，他可能会就是给予我一些指导，然后帮我提升能力，然后让我就是很好做好充分的准备，然后去那个面试这个总监的职位。
And then it's over to Sameera, because what we're going to do now we understand more about what mentoring is. We want you to have a think and write in the chat, or even better, using the tool to be able to share some of the things that are the benefits of mentoring in organizations. Over to you, Sameera.
You already told the question, but anyway, so write in your chat benefits of mentoring in organizations from your perspective. We do have a lot of research around the benefits of training, the benefits of coaching, especially the recent ICF research was quite out there. EMCC, they have their own research as well. So lots of work happening. However, mentoring, is that part of the job descriptions of managers? Is it a part of the L&D? And what is the impact? So let's see some of the answers here. It's orange. Could be orange. Why not? Can it be an apple then, Claire? Yeah, it's a different thing, right? It's a different thing.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. So sharing experiences and better cooperation. Over to you, Amy. Go ahead.
也就接下来我们是看看就是那个导师辅导可以就是在组织里的好处，那大家可以在那个链接里那个发言，也可以在 Zoom 里那个打出来。然后这里呢，这个那个 Sameera 他会看到这个答案。那在屏幕上显示的呢是，比如说有可以分享知识、分享经验，然后分享你的见解，然后还可以是加强合作，然后也可以是帮助管理者。他可以在那个链接里那个输出你的答案。
Okay, so here comes the the recent trends that if we give the task of mentoring to the leaders, will that create a motivation factor? Are they building towards their legacy? Will that create more engagement from both mentor and mentee? What do you think, Claire?
那最近呢，就是有一个趋势，可能是就是可能在组织里面，因为有组织里面就是那个给就是领导者一个任务，就是让他们去 担任一个导师的角色，然后这样呢也可以就是增强那个员工的动力参与度。然后接下来是那个 Clare， 然后说一下见解。
So it definitely gets buy-in, gets ownership, and here's some of the other things that we've gathered from research. Organizations that support effective mentor programs where the mentor is trained on how to work with the mentee. They have in their organizations knowledge share. So knowledge share top down, knowledge share across. One bank we worked for where people in this branch were supporting procurement or mentoring finance. And so the whole organization is able to share their knowledge.
那么研究呢，也有研究发现，就是在组织里呢，有很多组织现在可以就支持非常那个高效的那个导师辅导项目，这样在那个导师这个具体的做法是就是可以对导师进行培训，然后帮助他们了解如何与就是我们的学员就是更好的进行这个导师辅导过程。那这个里面的好处呢，包括一个知识共享，就像我们可能在银行里面，比如说某个部门，然后对他们进行财务方面的一个导师辅导，那这样的话，这个整个一个知识呢，可以在这个整个体系里面都共享。
Another area it's useful for is what I mentioned already, succession planning. So where someone who's in that job already supports someone who's aspiring to that position. And it's also extremely beneficial to retain the best staff because you are showing them that you support them. And isn't that so important in organizations at the moment where so many people are leaving their workplaces?
还有一个呢是，比如说在组织里一个继任者计划，因为这样的话就是比如说在某个岗位已经在这个岗位上的人，他有一定的资历跟经验，然后他可以把他的知识和经验技能然后传给那个渴望就是想做这个后面想就是做这个职位的人，然后传承下来。那这样的话也能够更好的留住员工，就给予那个他们支持。因为现在就是很多就是公司里面员工那个离职率也非常高，所以导师辅导它可以就是帮助你那个提升那个员工的留职率。
It's also related to how people connect to their values, how they get motivated. If we go to the classic theories where, you know, giving back to others is part of what makes me happy. So when I'm mentoring someone, that will increase my self-awareness and my, you know, values and motivate myself.
那这样呢，也可以就是帮助我们去找到自己的价值跟动力。就像有一句话有句话说的，赠人玫瑰手有余香，就是在这个导师辅导过程当中呢，我也可以去实现自己的价值，然后把我就是更多自己有的东西可以更多的去传承留给他人，去帮助他人。
Quite interesting. Some of organizations, they create the mentoring program and they create the systems to support the mentoring program, i.e. the job descriptions are changed, there is learning management system. People, when they are close to leave or they are learning new things, they record this learning in a way, in a system that, oh yes, we've done this. This X person worked on that file, go ahead and check it. They also call it kind of like the learning log for certain projects. It works very well in agile team projects.
因为现在有很多就是组织企业，他们都设立了一些就是导师辅导项目，或者是这样的导师辅导这样一个体系。然后比如像一些比较创新的，比如像敏捷团队啊、敏捷系统啊这种， 比如说一些管理体系，这样的话也是更好的就是能够让那个员工那个留下来。
And another important point is living organizational values. So, for example, if the values are things like teamwork or innovation, by mentoring, those values are actually activated.
那导师辅导还可以就实现我们组织的价值观，比如像团队合作精神，还有创新精神。那这样的话也是激活组织价值的一种方式。
Another one is to increase self-awareness. So what I know about my skills, knowledge, and behaviors may be different than what my line manager feels I know. So by having these open questions and them advising me on what I need to work on, that helps the team and the whole organization as well as a knock-on effect.
那导师辅导就还可以提升就是自我意识，就让我们对自己的技能、知识、行为有一个更好的认知。这样呢，在就是团队跟组织不仅是对团队，然后对组织呢也是有非常大的好处，然后可以就是加强自己那个内部的连接。
And so let's have a look now, skills of a mentor coach. Write down what you think are the skills required to mentor other people.
接下来呢是关于就是导师需要什么样的技能，大家可以写下来，导师需要哪些技能。
So when we talk about also skills, we're looking at actually when we take that even on a broader level. So what are the competencies, skill, knowledge, abilities, attitudes, of this person who we call mentor, maybe even mentee? Go ahead. Yeah.
And we've got one thing that
我们也可以就是说的就是更广一点，就是作为导师呢，你要具备哪些，比如说什么样的能力啊、态度啊。
And there's one thing there from the live broadcast, someone sharing that in their previous job, there was that plan in place for mentoring to be systemic across the whole organization. Everyone was involved and it works that way most effectively.
那这个呢是在就是组织里面，我可以形成一个系统性的导师辅导体系，然后呢是汇集到每一个人，可以。
As you said there, Claire, it's a long-term journey. It's not something that, hey, we feel like doing a mentoring program this year. It's like how we can embed it with the overall organization direction. And it's also embedded in the competency framework inside the organization. So they link the full competencies and the other things, i.e., is this person also trustworthy? Right? Do they have the skills that we cannot replace quickly? Can they be the next mentor? Things like language barriers, time management, because these things can take some, time from people. Some people think mentoring and also coaching might be, hey, this is additional on top of what I do. It's actually now embedded in that's what you do.
And it becomes the way that we do things around here, all the way from onboarding right through the talent life cycle to exit interviews.
那这个导师辅导呢，它是一个长期的规划，并不是说短期的。比如说我们企业比如说这个组织今年的一个总体方向是怎么样的？ 它是一个长期的过程，然后同时呢，也就是在涉及到在组织里要建立一个这个能力框架，能力框架，然后要去看，比如说这个人他就是是否值得信任，然后是否有成为导师他所需要的技能，然后包括在时间管理方面呢，是否有这样的能力。然后有些人觉得好像就是导师辅导或者教练可能是比如说我们日常工作中以外的事，不，他这个应该是一个贯穿始终的，可能比如说包括员工可能入职培训呢就可以做起，然后一直到比如说企业的人才发展计划，应该是贯穿始终的一个项目，长期的过程。
So we've got some of the skills here. Thank you to all those people that have been writing them down. And especially thank you for writing them in English because I can read them. So we've got being authentic, honest, building quick trust with people, patience, contract management, absolutely. What's confidential and what can be shared?
非常感谢大家就是已经写下了这些答案，而且是用英语写出来的，这样呢你能直接看懂。就像比如说有些人说导师需要具备一些真实，然后要诚实，要有经验，还有能够与人快速的建立信任，包括合同管理，这个说的非常对，就是我们比如说在多大程度上要保持保密啊这种。还有
And then we've got experience and also being able to influence leadership. We mentioned empathy and also passion, optimism, motivation. Oh, that person's wrote a fabulous list.
同时也还提到了必须要有经验，能够影响别人，还有领导力，然后有同理心，包括能有乐观的态度，还有动力，然后富有激情，还有可靠的，然后大家都说得非常好。
So we can add here, if we're going to refer to the API model, right? So does this person have the authority in the domain that he or she is mentoring? Is the presence of that person fits the requirement, I would say? And can the person show impact? Do they have impact? I would refer to the idea of also you need a smart person who knows what they're talking about. They have the passion to do it. And the third element is they must be ethical. Because if the third one is missing, the other two will kill our project in mentoring. What type of mentoring they will be doing, right?
Absolutely. If they're not ethical, sometimes they mentor on what they want to mentor on, as opposed to what the mentee needs to be mentored on. And they may not be aligned to what the organization needs as well. Shall we move on?
这里就是再补充几点，就是作为导师的他的技能。首先一个导师就是一个是权威，就是你在你专业的领域你要有一定的权威，然后第二个就是有影响力，你对自己所做的事情呢能够就产生一定的影响。第三个呢就是说也是就是我们讲的这个道德，一定要在道德框架里行职业。
It takes us to a very interesting movement that I've been noticing in the last 2 years in the region. When organizations or the NGOs are launching a mentoring or a coaching program, making sure that the mentors and the coaches are qualified and good and trained. On the other hand, they are also training the mentees and the coaches on what are your roles and what are the things that you need to show, what are the competencies you need to have, how to make the maximum out of mentoring and coaching. So over to you, Claire, skills of mentee, and of course over to the audience here. What do you think?
在2年前的时候呢，就已经就是有组织，还有非政府组织就已经发起了一个培训，针对导师的培训项目，因为这样的话他们是以此呢可以培训出更多就是受过训练的， 然后有资质的合格的导师。那不只针对导师，同时也对学员也发起了培训项目，然后让他们明白自己的角色，然后了解自己的能力，然后以此能够就是让他们的能力最大化的发挥。同时接下来就是关于那个学员的技能，这点呢我们交给 Clare， 同时呢也交给就是各位观众，然后分享一下自己的见解关于学员的技能。
And so just before we go to the results, really important, a few years back, I had a conversation with Professor David Clutterbuck, who is one of EMCC's founders. And that was about 5 years ago. That was when I realized it's not just about the competencies of the mentor. The person being mentored, the mentee, also needs an element of training, minimum 3 hours, so that they are really clear about the way things work, so that they get the most out of their mentoring and they're clear on the goals that they not just want to achieve, but need to achieve. And so that they choose a mentor that really fits their personality and goals.
就在5年前的时候，我曾经与 David Clutterbuck 先生有一段对话，然后 David Clutterbuck 呢，他是 EMCC 的创始人，然后从我跟他的对话当中呢，我当时就是明白一点，就是我们不只要就是培训，注重那个导师的能力，同时也要注重对学员的能力的培训。然后当时呢，我们一般就是培训，比如说至少3个小时对学员的培训，然后让他们了解就是在这个导师辅导过程呢是如何运作的，让他们明确自己的目标，同时让他们了解就是不只要知道自己想实现什么，同时也还有需要去实现什么样的目标。那同时呢，就是学员在选择导师的时候呢，同时呢也要找那些可能符合自己的一些可能是性格方面啊，或者是目标价值观方面，应该也要找到一些契合的导师。
And so thank you again for your answers. So what competencies or skills does the mentee need? And we've got understand fast, able to set objectives, and self-motivated. We've also got be an initiator, able to organize and book their time, and be positive.
谢谢大家那个给的答案。有些那个朋友说有那个快速理解的能力，还有能够沟通，然后有表达能力，还有就是能够自我激励，同时呢也愿意去那个改变，同时呢也能够有积极的心态。
And then we've got open-minded, keen to learn, curious, really important. They need to be a good listener, because when you're being mentored, you need an open mind in terms of, thank you, as opposed to no but, or I've tried that already and it doesn't work. That energy doesn't get you what you need when you're being mentored. And then we've got self-awareness, absolutely authentic. That's a brilliant one. Be yourself, be honest. I'm good at this, and that's not my strength. That's really important. And I love bravery is there too.
那还有人一些说了，就是要有一个比较开放的心态，同时呢也要就是乐于学习，保持一个好奇心。这点保持好奇心呢也是非常重要的一点，就是我们要做一个很好的倾听者，然后呢就是要有一个开放的思维，而不是说仅仅说比如说我试过了，但是失败了，不是这样的。作为我们应该是要就是有一个就是提升那个自我意识，有一个自我意识，然后还有包括做自己，然后相信自己我非常擅长的一点，这是我的优势。 那就是要有自信，足够自信。大家就回答得很好。
So let's move on. And there are some of the many, this is the cheat sheet, there are some of the many skills needed by a mentor and a mentee. You may even want to take a picture of that one.
那这张图里面呢，就说了导师和学员需要的技能，然后大家可以把这张图拍下来。
And of course, in our extended programs, 1 day, 3 day, we take you through experientially all these skills so you actually have a go being a mentor, being a mentee, so that you can experience these competencies in action. So, what's reverse mentoring? Those people who are writing for us, have a go. Nobody gets it wrong. Let's see if you know what reverse mentoring is.
就是在我们可能平时，比如说为期1天的呀，为期3天的呀，一些可能导师辅导那个培训里面，就非常体验式的让大家了解，就是作为导师还有学员的能力。那接下来我们来看那个逆向导师辅导，大家对逆向导师辅导有什么了解？可以输出答案。
And absolutely, it is transferring knowledge into practice. It is related to a younger colleague as the mentor. So one organization that we worked with, we had young people who are fabulous at social media just because they are, supporting the CEO in some of the decisions around that area and his presence online. Now, that mentoring worked fabulously because the right people were the mentors.
比如说大家回答，比如说把知识转化为实践，在实践中应用知识，包括说让年轻的同事当导师，然后来辅导那个年长的同事，这一点也说得非常好。比如说在一家企业里，我们比如说年轻的员工他非常擅长使用社交媒体，然后他这个时候就可以比如说当 CEO 的导师，然后让 CEO 比如说可能做这个社交媒体相关的领域，然后做出决策。也就是我们导师呢，他可以是合适的人，正确的人，就可以是年轻人，也可以是可以是年长的人，也可以是年轻的人。
And we've got the way of looking there through the binoculars, because when you do reverse mentoring, honestly, organizations see so much about their processes, the way they are with their people, the way they are with their stakeholders. It really brings out so much knowledge for everyone.
这里呢，就像比如说我们比如拍照的时候，那个镜头可能是比如说反角镜头啊，因为在组织里面，我们比如采用这样的逆向辅导流程呢，可以把更多的知识技能呢，在这个整个体系里面最大化的运用。
And another thing, as well as reverse mentoring, so people less experienced or younger mentoring up and across the organization, another thing is a mentoring chain.
就除了比如说我们在组织里面比较年轻的，可能资历比较浅的，然后像那个年长的人做导师辅导，此外就是在这样的基础上，我们还可以在这个组织里形成一个导师辅导链。
And what this is, for example, I mentor Sameera, Sameera mentors Tracy, Tracy mentors IC, IC mentors Bianca, and the chain carries on.
那举个例子来说，比如说我做 Sameera 的导师，然后呢 Sameera 再去辅导 Tracy， 然后 Tracy 呢再辅导 IC 辅导 Bianca， 那这样呢就形成了一个导师辅导链。
And I just have to say again, you're doing a fabulous job because it's not an easy role you've got. Real time trying to work on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So interesting. We've got a comment there. What type of hurdles might we face when doing reverse mentoring? Anyone want to shout out? If not, we will share some of the things we've come across.
Do I need to share something about this?
You're on mute.
They can share it in the chat, or they can speak out loud, or we can just share.
大家可以就是在那个聊天框里分享，也可以说出来。就关于这个导师逆向辅导的，可以继续那个分享。
So with reverse mentoring, one of the things is the CEO or the director who's being mentored by someone more junior, they need to drop their ego and leave it outside the building, or the reverse mentoring will not work.
那第一个，比如说作为 CEO 或者总监他们在接受那个年轻人的那个辅导的时候呢，他们要放下自我，放下那个自尊，不然的话，这个逆向导师辅导就没有办法成功。
I see even the lack of skills in reverse mentoring by the younger mentors. Do they understand the boundaries and the confidentiality? Because we are looking at different age categories. Here, I mean, will they go ahead and tell their friends that, oh, I've been mentoring the VP of our company? Is that okay? And the other thing is, do they have the time to do it as well? Both sides, actually.
And time is an absolutely massive one. So now Sameera is going to share with you one of many different models of mentoring.
Thank you, Claire. So here we are talking about our Coach Me model and how we can relate it when we train our coaches and mentors on how to mentor others. So if we take that, our belief is it's not a cycle or a process, it's a mindset and philosophy.
那就我们刚才就说，在做逆向导师辅导过程当中，还有一个重要的一点就是要保密，特别是比如说在年轻人，比如说他是辅导了这个公司的副总裁，然后他这个时候如果说对朋友说这个事情，他是不是合适？还有重要一点就是注意一个时间的管理。那接下来我们是看那个导师辅导的模型，然后这个呢，一个 Coach Me 的模型，首先呢有一个关键词是信念。这个信念他说的不是心理状态，更多的说的是一种心态。
So we believe that whatever mentoring conversation we might be having, it will not be away from these 7 areas. And the result is in the heart of our focus while we are mentoring.
那就是我们在那个导师辅导的对话呢，我们一般主要就是围绕这张图上面的那个7个部分，然后展开的，主要关注点主要就是这7个点。
So we either are mentoring people who want to improve their skills, or they want to build on their existing strong skills.
就我们比如说在那个辅导就学员他想要提升，比如说提升自己的技能啊，然后比如说还可以就是增强自己的场域，然后都可以用这个模型。
We are mentoring around a mentee wants to know more about themselves or what else they know that they are not aware of. So there is certain knowledge. So we have the skill and knowledge now.
还有这个学员他可能想更好提升对自我的认知，然后这个时候呢就是涉及到知识，然后刚才是技能，然后现在有知识。
So we might even work on behaviors. What am I doing that it's working for me as a mentee? And what do I need to stop doing because it's no longer serving me? Or what do I need to start doing? Something that I've not done so far. So now we have skill, knowledge, and behavior.
那第三个呢，就是行为，就我正在做的事情，它对我到底有没有帮助？那我是不是应该停下来一些我正在做的事情，或者我是不是应该开始做一些我从来没有做过的事情？那这个就是第三点，行为。
Sometimes it can be a mix of different things together. For example, we can also be mentoring around reflection. You know, that time when you need to sit down and really think, but you need that space to think. Mentoring or a mentor can create a safe space for that type of reflection.
那第四个呢是反思。那反思可能比如说特别是涉及到可能是有比如说不同的人不同的想法碰撞的时候，那作为导师呢跟学员呢这时候可以就是坐下来，然后想一想，然后这个时候导师呢要为学员去创造一个比较安全的环境，然后进行这个反思行为。
So we have skill, knowledge, behavior, and a place to reflect. Then we have transition planning. I think this will be the transition planning and the action points are quite strong in the mentoring model because here there is some sharing of knowledge and advice and tips. So in transition planning, it's those conversations about how can I move from where I am to where I want to be, and actions are what do I need to do for that movement.
接下来呢是行动，这个行动可能就是涉及到一些，比如说包括可能一些知识一些建议的分享，然后在导师辅导就是这个对话过程当中呢，然后可能比如说关于就我现在处在什么位置，然后我如何从我现在的位置去到我想去的那个位置，然后为此呢我又能采取什么行动，这个就是对转型的一个规划。
Here we will look at the heart of the model, all conversation, the mentoring process and journey, the experience that both mentor and mentee are going through is focused on results, and it's taking a systemic approach while doing that.
然后就是这个模型的中心就是结果，我们在这个整个导师辅导这个经验，他所做的所有事情都是围绕这个结果来进行的，而达成这个结果呢，它也是需要就系统性的方法。
So that's the Coach Me mentoring model, one of the models that we use. Yeah.
那所以这整个就是我们用的一个 Coach Me 的模型。
So what are the training the mentor and the mentee needs to go through? It's a mix of things that we've been working on. So there's a few models for the mentor training on the competencies and practical application, few models for mentee training. There are some competencies and practical application, and then there are some joint training for mentor and mentee in the same place.
那接下来呢是对导师和学员的培训，那这个呢模型就是有很多种模型，然后既有针对导师的模型，比如培养导师的能力也包括实际应用，同时呢也有专门针对学员的那个模型，也是就是包括提升学员的能力以及如何就是应用到实际当中。 然后此外呢，也还有就是联合培训，就是针对导师和学员同时对他们同时进行的培训。
So I can relate that to the question as well we have in chat here. Is there any criteria that we could measure the result? Yes, it depends on the goal of that mentoring relationship. For example, I want you to mentor me on achieving my credentials, finishing my certificate, improving the sales in my department, being more patient. And then here we need to, as we do in coaching and mentoring, we need to have smart or smarter goals. How we can measure this? What are the KPIs? What success means to you? In business, it's easy because we relate it to numbers. I want to increase 10% of profit, improve 15% of customer satisfaction. That's easy to measure because it's numbers. But subjective things, for example, I want to be fulfilled, more fulfilled after this mentoring relationship. How we can measure that? So the mentee and the mentor need to agree on what success and fulfillment looks like. Go ahead, AC.
我们在聊天框里有一个很好的问题，就是是否有就衡量结果的标准。那衡量结果的标准呢，其实主要取决于你这个导师辅导所要达成的目标。啊，比如说这个学员他想取得什么样的证书，比如说可能在销售部门可能想提升那个销售额，就这样的目标我们也有一个，比如说我们经常提到的像 SMART Goal 这样的 SMART Goal 的目标。那对于有些目标呢，比如说可衡量的，比如像数字，然后你其实比如说像提升销售额，你想提升多少个百分比，这个只要通过数字来衡量就可以了。但是还有一些比如说主观上的目标，这个主观上的目标，比如说这个学员说我想就是能够就更加的充实，然后能够达到自我实现的程度。那这个又怎么来衡量呢？这个就需要就是导师跟学员然后事先对你就是要达到的一个程度做一个约定，比如说我做到什么样的程度，然后我成功了，然后我实现了，是这样来衡量的。
So we do have the overall arching goal for the relationship. For example, we are pairing A with B. A will mentor B, and then B needs to see the bigger goal here. For example, is it for career progression? Is it for skill improvements overall? And then in the mentoring conversation, the goals will be more specific and the KPIs, the measurement aspect will be more specific. Yeah. So yes, the goals to be set. And again, it's a living journey, which means as we go deeper in that relationship, the mentee might discover other bigger, deeper, more relevant goals.
那就是在我们导师辅导的时候呢，可能首先有一个比如说总体的目标，就是这个学员要达成什么样的目标，比如说可能在工作上他想升职啊什么的。那在导师和学员对话的过程当中呢，首先你会有设定一个比如说一个比较具体的目标，比如像 KPI 这样比如说具体的目标。那同时在这个导师辅导过程进行当中啊，学员可能会发现这个目标其实可以就是也可以更具体或者更相关，就在这个过程当中可能也会进行一定的调整。
And I like the point here, encouraging the mentee to track the progress. And I use sometimes some online applications, for example, Trello or Asana, where the mentee will agree on certain goals and tasks, and then we can use the online Kanban, you know, the log, to do, doing, done, and they are seeing the progress. We can have conversations around that. So make it a habit, kind of like you're transferring a mindset to the mentee that you need to be keen about measuring your progress.
那这个呢，就我想提到这里的，比如说第6点，要鼓励学员自己去追踪这个进展，就是他在这个导师辅导过程当中所就是达到的一个他取得的进步。那就像我自己的话，我可能会有一些我比较擅长用一些比较在线的一些项目啊、工具啊，然后我会在这个过程当中，我会去使用这些工具，然后帮助学员达成这个目标。然后我学员呢，其实他也跟我约定，也愿意用这些东西。然后就是你可以养成一个习惯，就是让学员自己也去试着，然后衡量自己的达到目标的一个情况。
So the system will send notification for either you're mentoring a team or mentoring a person, and it will send a notification to the mentor or the team leader, whoever is involved in that contracting process. It will create accountability and transparency as well. And because everything is there and everyone is looking at the same board.
那这里呢也有比较就是实际系统的应用，就是我们在面对就是面对人员或者面对团队做这个导师辅导的时候呢，因为比较重要的一点就是我们要约定就是签订合同，然后这个合同内容呢可能会要涉及到问责制，包括这个透明度，然后这一点呢是非常重要的，也是帮助我们就是就是刚才的问题，就是一些那个比如说衡量的标准啊、目标啊，然后包括最后那个它的一个取得的进展。
Okay, so whether you're watching this on live stream, so we are sharing the screen, or you're here with us in Zoom, you can drag the small ball on the screen and place it. Imagine this image is the landscape and the possibilities for you to benefit from being a mentor or a mentee. But you are in a certain place in this image. Where do you stand? Where are you now at this moment in this image?
在这张图呢，大家可以就是想象一下这个风景，可以尽情的想象你在这个风景当中，你作为导师或学员，然后在当中处于什么样的位置，就是处于什么样的位置，你能够比如说实现那个能够让这个导师辅导过程实现它的好处最大化。
Yeah, so you can see someone is in the river, someone is on the mountain, and someone is near the river, someone is in the forest. Yeah.
有的人就是大家已经拖到了那个图标，有的人可能就处在比如说这个处在这个河里，有的人呢是在山上，也有人在森林里。
So here's a reflection for you to reflect on. So what's it like to be there? Where do I want to be? Who is with me in this mentoring journey?
就在这个过程当中呢，我可能比如说想要变成什么样子的，然后谁有跟我一起，那可以想象一下。
Live that. And then who am I being in this mentoring journey?
在这个导师辅导过程当中，那我在哪里？
Right. So here are some action points for you guys. When we took you to this journey, what is mentoring, what is not, what are the possibilities and the benefits, what skills we need. We slightly touched on the challenges, and then where do you stand now as a mentor? Where do you want to be? What actions are you going to take out of today's session? If it's, I will be or by or whoever will help me or the ways.
接下来呢，我们看一些，比如说一些行动，比如说包一些可能行动计划，然后在就是导师辅导过程中可能有可能能达到什么样的好处啊，什么样的可能性啊，然后为此你有什么样的技能，然后去应对那些挑战。就是作为比如说导师或学员，你就是想做什么事情，想达成什么样的，想做什么，大家可以写下来。
I wish to hear from people who are on the live chat. I mean, that should be a proud place, isn't it? What are you gonna do, guys, differently if the possibilities are limitless for you guys to be mentored or be a mentor?
就比如说做导师或者学员的时候，你可能比如说感到受到了一些限制，然后你又能做一些一些不同的事情，或者采用什么样不同的方法，然后能够来突破这个限制。
Love that. So people can be opening their own businesses, you know, sharing the happiness cards, pursuing their dreams. And then how I can relate that to being mentored or mentoring someone.
我们可以比如说分享一些可能开心的事情啊，然后包括你可以追求一些你的某个梦想，都可以。
I totally like that. I mean, both of them are you know, quite inspiring. Especially, I'm a coaching card junkie. I would say I love using cards and activities in the session. So enjoy it. Yeah. So here is a way to connect with us. We'll be happy to listen to your comments, suggestions, and I'm sure the chapter here will also get us the feedback on how did you find the session, in what ways we can be even better. Now, I've added a link for those who are on the peer deck on our mentor certification program as well. However, we are happy to hear from you. We are honored to be invited for this session. Thank you so much. On behalf of Beckett-McInroy Consultancy, Claire, and myself, and all Coach Me community, thank you.
接下来刚刚这张图呢，就是等会儿也可以发给大家，是我们的联系方式。大家如果有什么建议啊，可以都发给我们，然后包括想去反馈的话，大家都可以通过上面的联系方式，然后就是找到我们。那我感到就是非常荣幸能够今天就是受邀来做这样的一场工作坊。那在这里呢，我同时也代表就是我自己，包括 Clare， 包括 Beckett-McInroy 这个公司，包括那个教练社群的成员，非常谢谢大家。
I'm happy to take some questions if there are any.
如果有问题的话，大家可以提问。
老师可以分享一下，就是刚才提到这个障碍在推行导师计划的过程里面，逆向的，尤其是逆向的，有什么比较好的最佳实践是在海外推行的过程里面，比如说有3条很好的实践方法，帮助大家去克服这些障碍吗？
是在那个逆向导师辅导过程当中遇到了障碍是吧？然后提3条那个最佳实践的建议是吧？
对对对，刚才
OK 好 OK here is the question. In reverse mentoring, could you share three best practices to deal with the obstacles in reverse mentoring?
So the way with the organization which we worked with, they had some challenges which means proper contracting will do. That'll be one of the strategies. Both mentor and mentee, they know what is required from them, from the relationship. That's one of them. 2, putting guidelines, which means, for example, if the mentee canceled the session 3 times, then they're out of that program. So we are putting kind of like cushion points. And it's an interesting thing. If we find that as a behavior, then the project team, whoever is working on this reverse mentoring project, they need to sit together and have an honest conversation. Are we designing this well? If 50-60% of the mentees are not showing up, did we sell it well? Are we doing it right? Are the timings correct? Yeah. And the third way, what would be a good thing to do when challenges face them? But a project manager and coordinator will be an excellent point of contact. For example, if the mentor, sends something, instead of, just assuming or judging, they can go back to the project manager and share some concerns. Yeah. So having a point of contact can work. Backup plans, selling it well, training the mentees. Why are we doing this? It's for you guys to also stretch your muscles, and this is why. And then the buy-in from the stakeholders and the management. Maybe my best take or tip will be patient with this kind of projects. It will take time. There will be some pitfalls. It's naive not to expect some. However, be flexible and open to stand for it and move forward, redesign, iterate, and relaunch.
它主要讲了3点。首先Sameera, I wonder about the first point is about the contracting strategy.
The contracting, which means we both know what is required from us, what we will share and what is not shared, to build that trust. Because one of the pitfalls or the challenges are that the mentee, the senior guy, is not willing to be mentored by the junior for different reasons. So one of the ways to overcome that is have proper contracting between the stakeholders involved to create that trust and professionality and confidentiality, if that's one of the concerns. And commitment, of course.
Yeah. 他主要讲了3点。首先第一点就是关于合同的订立，就是让导师跟学员之间，首先都要知道你们之间所处的关系，然后2个人就是都要共同达成什么样的目标，然后这个学员他就需要什么，他要实现什么样的目标，然后就是2个人之间要建立一个信任度，然后对整个导师辅导过程呢之前也要保密。第二个呢，主要是讲的是一个，就是可能比如说有一些可能遇到一些情况，比如说学员他可能突然就是取消了这次的比如说辅导，然后在一个组织里可能比如说60%到70%的人可能说就突然就是取消了这个原定的导师辅导就是导师辅导课程啊。然后这个时候呢，其实可以就是对这个在这种情况下可以对它就是重新设计，就是灵活一点，然后应对这种情况我们大家就是重新商定，就是针对这个时间的问题重新商定一下。然后第3个呢，主要是可以设立像项目经理，还有包括协调员，然后从中起到一个就是协调联络的作用。那这样的话，比如说可能导师，然后对这个学员可能说就是在辅导过程当中产生一些想法呀，他可以把自己的一些可能问题、一些担心，然后给说到这个项目经理还有协调员听，然后记录你们。此外还有就比如说可能还有一些后备计划，然后比如特别是针对比如说学员的一些培训，然后让学员 了解这个项目是对他的那个比如说能力是有所提升的，又是让他明确他做这个辅导项目的一个他的目标、他的目的。总的来说呢，就是要在这个过程呢一定要保持耐心，然后就是要灵活，就特别是遇到一些情况的时候，比如说我们可以比如重新设计我们的这个导师辅导课程，对，保持一个开放的心态。
Thank you, Ici, for that. Now, there is one last question here. Is mentoring similar to coaching? The similarities are both are powerful tools to improve and check what is the potential for others, for both mentor and mentee, coach and coachee, because it's a partnership relationship in both of them. The difference between them, the coach will enable the person to think for themselves. And the coach will create that environment for that thinking and empowerment and accountability to happen. Of course, the mentor will do the same, and the mentor will add from their experience and knowledge to the conversation. Yeah. So if we take it as an analogy, if I'm mentoring you on how to, catch a fish, open a business, I'll tell you, of course, okay, why you want to do this? What have you done? I have done it this way. These are the challenges I face. These are the solution, and this is my advice. Yeah. As opposed to the coaching approach, if I'm coaching you around you catching a fish or opening a business, I'll be like, what will this add to you as a person in your life, for your community, as a bigger purpose? Why this goal? Why now? What resources, strengths, beliefs, activities, behaviors that you have that you can build on? And what do you need to improve? What actions you can take or think of? Yeah? And how you will measure yourself? What will keep you accountable? So did you see the conversation is a little bit different? I will not tell the coachee what to do. I'll make sure to enable that environment for that thinking to happen. Yeah.
那导师辅导跟导师跟教练他们的共同点呢是，他们都是一个非常就是都能够最大化激发他人潜力的一个非常有力的工具。那这个潜力呢是无论是针对导师学员还是教练还有被指导者，然后是针对所有人的，因为不管是那个导师辅导还是教练指导，他们都是一个就是相互的过程，他们都是这个相互促进的关系。那不同点呢是在于，比如说教练他更多的是在激发别人去让别人自己去思考，是给他创造这样的一个空间环境，让他去思考这个问题。那导师呢，导师主要是更多的是借助自己的经验和知识，然后来就是帮助这个学员向他传授这样的知识经验技能，然后帮助他去解决问题。如果说做一个类比的话，比如说作为导师，然后我要教学员去什么，比如说抓鱼或者是创业，那我可能告诉他具体告诉他怎么做，然后我之前是怎么做的，那我曾经遇到过哪些挑战，然后我又是采用了哪些解决方案，然后解决这些挑战的，主要会给予到一些建议。那作为教练，如果我说告诉这个说学员他抓鱼要创业的话，我主要是可能向他传授一些比如说工具，然后可能说比如说让他知道自己有比如说哪些资源可以采取哪些行动，然后是如何做，然后能够如何做，然后能够接近这个目标，采取哪些行动，然后具体又如何来衡量，然后主要是要让他自己对这个做的事情负责。我并不会告诉这个被指导者去做什么，主要是为他创造这样一个空间环境，然后让他去朝着这个目标去前进。
Absolutely. So we have Liang is raising her hand for his hand. Sorry for that. And then we have a question, which is referring to the metaphoric landscape. And where do you stand today in your mentoring journey, and where do you want to be? How does it feel when you're there? It's one of the activities we use. Claire, go ahead, explain that, and then we will talk to Liang.
Sure. So the way this works is experiencing what it's like when you are. For example, if I was down there in a boat just floating gently along the river, it means I may have started on my mentoring journey, but I've not taken the reins and started climbing the mountains so I can see the full picture yet. So it may mean that my organization's in its infancy in terms of a mentoring journey.
现在刚刚有一个提问，就是我们刚刚有一张图，然后那张图里就是那些风景，然后大家都处在什么样的位置？然后这里呢，主要是更多的就是一种就是体验式的一种，比如说你可能，比如说你是，比如说在一个船上，然后你在这个船上想象自己可能是就是轻轻的飘过，主要在这个船上轻轻的飘过，然后你呢并不会说是想去很用力的去什么，像可能很用力的去抓住一些什么。然后主要呢，就是比如说在组织里面呢，更多的是它是导师辅导，主要是产生一个影响的作用。
Any other questions?
You have a hand raised there.
Schofield.
Oh, hi. Hey, guys.
Hi, good to have you with us.
Thank you. It's really pleasant to hear you guys for the presentation regarding mentoring. So I actually just got one question. So do you think it is necessary to be mentoring in his or her own industry or field in order to be a mentor? Because, after all, young people I think they're not as experienced as veterans. So my question is that why should these veterans or the senior in their own industry need to listen to the young people in this kind of scenario?
There's so many reasons for it. And one that I found over the years is even the use of naive questions. So quite often someone younger, less experienced, they come up with questions about complex problems that we might not have thought of ourselves. And so even the use of those naive questions and the bravery to ask them can help us all solve problems together. That's one thing.
I also think about different ideas, like it's a mindset that the older we get in our work, that means we know better, which is quite controversial now, because I can find, for example, my nephew and niece, they're way much better than me in certain applications. And if I am to learn more than that, I need them to mentor me on how to use it. So it's the expectation of, do I really know more in all areas? Which is no. There are some areas that I might not be good at.
And it's also with that, staying ahead of the game. What do our clients need us to work on? And quite often, people lower down the organization are closer to the clients. I see. That's a lot for you.
Yeah, thank you. Because I just a little bit worried because, as a senior, they probably just pretend to let down or abandon their ego, but in their bottom of heart or in their true thinking, they probably just, maybe they still think they're senior, they got more experience. So, I just a little worried about this.
Can do with culture as well. and also go back to the organizational values. If in the value statements, it has something like, we are all learners, things like that can support it, and leaders have to be open to learning new things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Pleasure. You need about 10 minutes now, I see.
就刚才的问题应该是，主要是它可能是涉及到，比如说在可能是年长的人，然后就是在企业里，比如说年长可能职位比较高的人，然后如果说是有年轻的人做他们导师的时候，然后这里他们可能涉及到一个比较，可能说放下自我比较难的一个问题，然后这个时候可能是就是要怎么办？那刚才 Sameera 他举了一个例子，比如说就是在生活当中，比如说我的侄子侄女，他们可能很擅长用一些 APP， 但是我不会，然后我可能会就想要知道，然后这个时候他们就会帮助我，然后让我了解是怎么用。那我主要的目的呢，就是想更多的了解，就是学会用这个东西。那其实在组织里面，因为一个组织它更重要的是整个组织的体现的价值，因为我们也常常去鼓励领导者就是要有一种开放的心态去拥抱新事物，哪怕是问出一些比较幼稚的问题也没有关系，就是你要还是要有勇气去问，因为大家都是朝着一个集体的那个组织集体的目标一个价值，然后去朝着这个方向努力的。
Thank you so much. So we do need to bring this to a close. Please reach out if you need anything at all. We're here to support you. If there's a follow-up on a number of things or there's more questions, we are very happy to help. And thank you so much for the invitation for myself and Sameera to speak with you today.